know dating can be intimidating for anybody, but dating after divorce comes with a whole new set of challenges.
It really does. So what can divorced people do to smooth over any bumps in the road? Joining us live with advice, the love engineer and relationship expert, Alex Merritt. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning.
Good to see you in person,
I
not
know,
through the computer
right?
screen. This is awesome.
Indeed.
Let's talk about your first tip. You say that date from a place of pleasure, not pressure.
Yes, one of the things that when you're getting back into the dating game period, right, it can be a lot of angst and anxiety, and so making sure that it's something that you desire, not the pressure to prove that you're better or prove that you're over something, but truly from a place of that I desire to get back into the dating game.
Because you actually want to.
Because you want to, not because you're being pressured to, or you feel like it's required for you to validate something to yourself or to others.
Sure. Speaking of that, others, you say you first two, which makes a lot of sense just in life. You need to be okay with the past relationship and get over the anger and the hurt. I think that makes sense in any capacity of life to start dating. If you're still hanging on to the anger from the previous relationship, it's not going to bode well for you.
Right, like date killer alert is that, you know, talking about your ex or how painful it was or things. I mean, granted, the question of like, why did it end will likely come up, but it has to come from a place of power, not from a place of pain, because people don't necessarily want to connect to that going forward.
So how do you know, I guess, when you are to that point where obviously it's still going to be part of your chapter, it's going to be part of your, you know, your life and who you are. How do you know when you've gotten past that and it's, you know, you're in that zone of, okay,
ready.
I'm ready.
Right.
I think working with a professional, so be that therapy, be that whatever whatever faith system or whatever it may have to be, but also internally you know how you feel. Right, so if you can come from a place where it's, again, I'm telling a story versus I am living in that story.
Okay, good to know. So dating today is not going to be like what you remember dating to be. I'll be honest, I've heard this from many girlfriends. And so talk about that, because that's something we got to adjust to mentally.
That, you know, when many people who are going through a divorce right now are in the dating game, they dated 10, 15, 20, even longer years ago, and it was just a different dating world, right? There was no online for many people. There was, you know, not all these definitions, and so, you know, and they frankly hadn't been on a date since their marriage, right? When you think about that. And so just releasing the idea that this is going to be like it used to be. There are a lot of opportunities to date, to get to know people that literally just did not exist 5, 10 years ago.
Sure, it is truly a different game.
It is literally a different game.
I'm curious though, do you recommend online dating? I mean, that's the reality of the world we live in. Are there things that you would tell people if they do jump into that world after divorce?
Yes, I'm a fan of online dating. One is a fast way to get to know me, or to introduce yourself to a lot of people in one shot without there being like, but one of, again, it's just being that, it's that realizing that, you know, profile pictures and how you tell someone about yourself, all of those things now are virtual. And so being able to tell that story virtually versus using your budding personality in front of someone, that's a little different.
I guess another question for you, and maybe it is when you're talking about online, do you mention right out the gate that you are divorced? Is that something that comes later? Is that a personal choice? What's your
I think it just depends on where the conversation is, where you are. Like, have you had pre-conversations with this person before you go out on a date with them, like via phone? And so it'll come up naturally, usually in the place. It's just knowing when it does, you having a response to that, because the question always is like, why are you single?
Sure.
You say it's important to think about the traits that you desire in a partner and kind of like how you want to feel when you're with them. I never even thought about that being something that you should consciously do. Absolutely. It's one of those deals where because it's now so intentional, you have to be deliberate about it, especially if you had a relationship that did not work out the way that you wanted it to do. You know, being able to reflect on what did you like about your ex, or what didn't you like, so that you're clear about what you're looking for going forward. Otherwise, you'll stumble into likely the similar.
Sure. Kind of just a different person, but same trait.
Same traits, different name.
Different name. Last but not least, you say, you know, look your best, you'll feel your best. It comes full circle.
Absolutely. It's like all of it starts with you. No matter what the relationship is, you are 100% a part of it. And so as you do everything in your power to feel good, look good, and again, come from a place of pleasure and feeling well, again, then your dating experience lends itself to that same energy.
I have a quick question for you. We just did a story earlier in the show about people making sure that they let go of their exes online. Getting rid of all their pictures. What do you say when it comes to people who have been divorced? Should they do that? Should they get rid of all the social media pictures of the ex? Is that important?
It's a process of clearing for some people, right? So even just going through and deleting them, having it be a very clear turnover can be cathartic, let's say it that way. And so going through and divorcing, like, this is past and this is how I want to go forward. And so, but again, if you got thousands of pictures, it may not be worth your time either. So you just have to decide on how you feel about it. If you can truly just let it go. I'm one who do not remove pictures of previous experiences just because I like being able to be like, we've moved past this point.
I remember the traits you don't want to go back to.
Absolutely.
Merritt, thank you so much. A pleasure to see you in person.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, for more information and relationship advice and to check out the upcoming classes that Alex has, you can visit her website, dessertanddiscussion.com.